Hello, welcome back. This is Tigra of Sacred Sagittarius Angels Answers All, your long-standing, one of your first original Sagittarius only channels here on YouTube. Welcome back as we continue wrapping up the May energies. This is going to be your financial and career wrap-up messages for the month of May. As always, show your appreciation for the free, consistent content that I post here for the Sagittarius community by sharing, liking, and subscribing. And especially you cross watchers that come by that's on the fence, hit the all notification bell. Mark me in your calendars, put me on your favorites. Again, the channel name is Sacred Sagittarius Angels Answers All, because there is another channel that came on years after me that's named Sacred Sagittarius. This channel is Sacred Sagittarius Angels Answers All. Okay, so let's continue with this wrap up of your finances and careers. Let me just take off one of these bangles because they're begging together. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing me and the Sagittarius community together as we are closing in on the energies ending for the month of May. Please show me as you feel necessary, the angels, guides, and those who mentor and support the Sagittarius community physically, spiritually, emotionally. What are the messages for Sagittarius as we approach this end of May as it pertains to our careers and our finances? We ask humbly and gratefully in your name, amen. We also ask that this message and the space in which we gather together is blessed and protected, and that no weapon formed against us shall ever prosper. Everything is done in positivity and in light. Cause to always bless, shuffle, and pray for before my readings, so you don't hear a lot of shuffling. My altars or prayer spaces, however you wish to term it, they're very small, so that's why you don't see a lot of activity as far as my hands and the cards, because I just don't have that much table space. In the hopefully far future, when I amongst my travels or possibly relocate or just get a bigger table space, of course I will go back to doing that like I did when I first started the channel. I had a really big table space, I think like a dining room table, but unfortunately I just don't have that right now. So I just explained that because some people are, new to the channel. They might be just coming through, and again, you really shouldn't compare readers with what they do, because we're all different. We all have our special gifts and our special ways and personal take on things. So appreciate the differences in all of us, as long as you resonate or you believe in what we are doing with the true intention. It shouldn't matter to you exactly how we go about it, because again, we're all going to do it differently, intuitively, to how we feel and we're guided to. Okay, remember, we're all different. We might be part of the Sagittarius family and group, but we all think and act differently. Okay, so let's start out with the tarot. So we're starting out with the Chariot, Two of Cups, and the Hermit. Overall energy, to Five of Swords. Now, I'm an Oracle girl. I'll tell you right blank, I just love Oracle cards better. And I would say second to Oracle cards, I love the Lenormand, and I'm going to be incorporating the Lenormand more back into my readings. I used to be into Lenormand also very heavily when I started this channel years ago, and I kind of veered off. You're going to start seeing Lenormand decks and a variety of them again back on the channel. But I do love the tarot as well, so I try to incorporate everything. And don't forget, as we get into the new month of June, I always rotate my decks, so you'll see different decks that I have. I try to change up the spice of the energy, and also because I do have a good collection amount of decks, it gives me an opportunity to rebond and sync with them. Okay, so let's see. So there's going to be some movement as far as your career and finances. Some of you might have to make a move in order to improve your finances or career, or your job could be offering you a transfer somewhere, or again, an opportunity for you might not be in your present location or even in your present country. There might be other opportunities. A lot of people are leaving, especially in the States. They want to now travel to see what the other opportunities are out in the rest of the world. And a lot of people are excited to see different cultures and to live and work in different ways of life. So there is going to be some movement. Also with the Chariot card, that also confirms that for some of you, if you've had pending transactions, like financial transactions, you were doing a closing, but for some reason, something fell through, there's a hole, a lien or something like that, or you didn't get that house again and you're starting over from scratch. So any pending matters, whether it's regards to your career, resumes that you sent out that you never heard back anything on, offers but you never got called back, you never really got any closure, you're going to see some movement now, and hopefully it will be positive movement. We'll see as we go along in the reading. So some action definitely taking place as far as your careers and finances, money being open to you, right? Unexpected money, like I said, that could have been tied up in legal cases. This is where a court case could be coming to a close and you're finally getting your settlement. So things that were stagnated, things that were pending for a while, or there was no decision made, you're now going to see movement in that. Followed by the Two of Cups and the Hermit. For many of you, your partnerships, the people that you work with, especially if you work with in a team setting, or if you and your spouse or you and your significant other have a business together, or you're thinking about having a business together, there could be some movement in that direction. This could be a plan or something that you've been kind of trying to do or maybe put together. You probably have the same type of interest and you both bring something to the table where you might want to start your own business together, right? And give up your 9 to 5 or working for someone else. But it's a big decision because sometimes you don't want to mix business with pleasure, even when it's your boo, right? So for some of you, this pause in wanting to venture out into your own, or possibly taking the risk and chance of co-signing, right? This could also be you co-signing your romantic partner's business, okay? Or vice versa, taking a chance on each other. So either you're partnering together where you're both owning the business and actually working within the business, or it's one of you backing the other. So there is going to be some movement in that. Again, there could have been delays because you were going through all your P's and Q's, right? And really trying to see if this was something that you could do or should do, again, because you don't want it to impact the romantic part of your relationship. There was and there will continue to be a lot of time where, as you end this month of May energies, where you're going to be just kind of closing yourself off from people, not to be rude or anything, but there are those times when you need to take that mental break and just be to yourself and just kind of look at your life, look where you're at in your career, look where you are in your finances, take a stock, right? Take a look into where you're going, what you're doing. Sometimes we're so busy in life, we don't take a moment to breathe and to think and just say, wait a minute, let me really look at this picture here. Let me look at my life. Am I good financially? Am I in the career that I desire, that I enjoy? Am I in this pivot moment of my life where I'm ready for a change? Again, you could be moving on to start a business with your partner, or you just want to travel the world or do something different. So for many of you in different walks of life, in different stages of life, this could be the part where you're really going within to make those solid decisions. Now, with the overall energy of the Five of Swords, this is also a time where you might be walking away from a battle, a conflict in regards to your career or finances. If you had a legal case with you were suing and you're awaiting damages or money or a payout, this could be finally where you're just ready to settle because you've been going back and forth for so long and you really don't want to wait any longer. So you want to kind of just get what you can get. You know what I mean? Some people try to hold out for that big paycheck, but anything can happen between the time and the years that go by, that you're going back and forth. The attorney fees are raising. They're gonna get a bigger cut. So even if you do get a big payout, right, the more fees that they're getting. So there is some tension within your finances and careers right now, and for many of you, you might have to surrender, right? So let's say in your financial situation, you might have to give up a credit card or two, right? You might have to close out a bank account. There's things that you might have to do that you didn't want to do financially, but you're kind of forced to because you're in a particular position that is uncomfortable. And the only way for it to turn around or to be more positive for you is that you're going to have to change your way of doing things. You're going to have to really look at what your finances are, what you're capable of doing, and what you're not capable of doing, and really, again, taking it seriously and doing what's best. And sometimes we do have to surrender. It's not that you're giving up, but you're facing the reality and you're making the best choice. When it comes to your careers, some of you might walk away from a job. No one wants to walk away from a job, right, if you don't have another position. But if your back is really up against the wall and mentally and physically and emotionally you are tapped out with this job and you just can't spend another 5 minutes there, you can walk away. You can just drop it all and say, I'm out. You know, give me my unemployment. You don't give me my unemployment, I don't care at this point. My mental health and how I feel about myself and my overall joy and peace of mind matters more. So tension within your careers and finances that some of you, again, not all of you, but some of you have been dealing with over the past weeks or months. You're going to be walking away. Again, you might even throw down the towel and say, I'm out. Don't look at it as a sign of defeat. Just think of it that you're taking control, and it's actually a sign of strength that you have the ability to finally make up your mind and stand by your decision to give up something, to stop the fight. Not all fights are good fights, and not all fights are meant for you to win. And when, like I said, you're secure with yourself and you know your talents and your abilities, then you have the strength to walk away knowing that, okay, I might lose this. I might not come out the way I wanted to, but you know what? In the long run, I'm going to be better off. So this is kind of like it's a victory in itself, even though you might not feel that it is. So let's see if we can get some clarifiers. We're going to take this other deck here. Let's clarify the tension and the challenges and difficulties within your careers and finances this end of May. Queen of Wands. Like I said, taking control, knowing when you have to count your losses, move ahead, being strong enough to say, I'm out, or, this is not what I thought it was. It's okay to take a loss. It's okay to not have it work out the way that you want it to, Also with the Queen of Wands, this is telling you that you have the ability to see beyond the situation that you're in. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes when we're so anxious to get a victory or to be or to excel within our career or to, make the money and have the money in the big bank accounts, we don't look at the bigger picture. And I feel, Sagittarius, right now, that's what you're doing with this Queen of Wands energy. You're being optimistic. You're changing your attitude. You're bringing up that upbeat quality of you. You're showing your strength in the Queen of Wands, that you've got this regardless. And in the end, it might not be the victory that you want, but it's going to be the victory that you need. So what else do we have for Sagittarius? Well, we get the card of independence. If you're not self-employed, the month of May, some of you might be coming to firm decisions that, you know what, I'm tired of talking to other people and being micromanaged and getting the short change and, splitting all the bonuses and the commissions with everyone else. I want it all for me. I put in all the work, so why can't I collect, all the monetary gain? So definitely considering investing in yourself, committing yourself to your own business. Again, this ties in with the partnership that some of you might be partnering or investing in your own business or your romantic partner's business. Also with the Work Smart card, it's a reminder as you make these changes and you go about these times financially and professionally, don't make things harder than you have to. And maybe you need to look at like I said, take a diagnostic look, right? Take an x-ray of your life, financially and in your careers. Where do you see the points where things are not as good as they should be, or areas that you need to kind to get a pick me up, right? Or make a change in the way how you look at it. Stick to the basic needs when it comes to spending and putting your money aside. Staying to your basic needs and working smart when it comes to your careers and finance will always assure you some type of victory towards the end. Like I said, you might not get it in the initial, but in the end, working smart and diligently and digitally as well will give you the victory that you truly deserve when the universe feels fit to give it to you. We get the artist card. For some of you who are artists, you're creative. Focus on finding the beauty in your day-to-day life. Your artistry could be you being a photographer, a painter, a web designer, graphic artist, right? If you can't make a living within your art full time, doesn't mean that you can't try to do something part time, or just start networking and going to shows and networking with people, whether here on YouTube or on other social media platforms, and see how some people started, how, the pitfalls, the ups, the downs of it all. Take it slow, but start making steps. We also get at the bottom of the deck, the people you spend the most time with shape who you are. When you're making a change, especially when you're going to be a new entrepreneur, or you are going to be working with a new partner, whether you're backing up their business of your own, be with like-minded people, people who are just as creative and go-getters like yourself. They want to live the big dream. They don't have a problem working hard for it. They have maybe not all the optimism that you have, but they definitely are not a Debbie Downer. They are there for the long haul, and you can kind of count on them to be with you through the difficult times. Because listen, when you're starting out your own business, or you're getting your feet wet for the first time as an entrepreneur, or owning your own business, or backing someone else's business, which you're hoping to get some type of financial success from it, it's a risk and it's scary. But if you work smart and you believe in your independence and the strength that you have, and you network and bond with people and link yourself up with people with the same type of energy, mindset, and goals, it makes it easier to manage, and you really have more hope that there's going to be a success than lining yourself up with people that are the total opposite. What else we get in the middle of the deck? We get some new money. So there's a potential for some new money coming in. Like I said, unexpected money. We definitely have luck on our side. But again, it's a reminder that you make new money by making new opportunities. Something new that you've been working on could lead to be very profitable. You should consider creating a new source of income. So don't just sit there crying the blues because you can't make ends meet, the overtime isn't there, or you're not getting the type of raises and bonuses you used to back in the day. You've got to make moves to get that new money that you need for you and your family. So if you have a money making idea, this is the time to start working on it. What's the worst that can happen? You fail, but so what? At least you tried. And you never know, you might not fail. And that's always the element of surprise that people fail to realize. When you don't take a risk, you could actually end up successful and being where you want to be in your career and finances. We also get workplace relationships. Try, as you develop your own companies, or you stay and you try to grow within the companies and corporations that you're in, to foster a more positive relationship with the people that you do work with, the teams that you work with. Understand that when you work with teams in a company, it is a team effort. Your attitude matters just as much as them. You're all not going to have great days, but really how you look about your relationships with the people that you work with, how you carry yourself, Sagittarius, really is going to impact how your bosses and your team works with you. So be respectful, collaborate effectively. If there's a problem in communication, talk about it. Don't talk about behind people's backs. Don't get caught up in cliques and all that type of stuff. Support your colleagues and they will support you, hopefully, and create a harmonious work environment so that it not works only for you, but for your team as well. With the work-life balance, for many of you, the reason why you want to work on your own or start your own business or partnerships is because sometimes working for big companies, that work-life balance isn't there. You want to be able to spend as much time on your job, but you also want to be able to go away and travel, spend time with your kids, spend time doing the things that you love outside of your job and your family. So that's very important to you. So for many of you, as spring comes and you're sowing new seeds and things are harvesting for you, a lot of you really want this new attention and focus on a work-life balance. You want to be able to have the best of both worlds, and you don't want to be just committed to your job that you don't have any other outside joy. You don't want to be so compelled to be working all the time, all day, all night, that even through the weekends, then you're tired, you're bogged down, you don't have energy to do the things that you enjoy or to spend quality time with your family. And then more importantly, you don't get time to listen to the readings. You don't get time to tap into your spiritual growth. So it really does pay in the bigger picture of things and overall in your life cycle when you do work hard to achieve having balance in both your work, your creativity, and your general over life experience. With the energy of work flexibility, when you're looking for a new job or you're creating new jobs and opportunities for yourself or your team, seek flexibility and provide flexibility. Just like how you want it, you also want to be able to give that to the people that you employ. It really makes the difference on the type of quality people that you get working for you. So negotiate remote work or offer remote work options when possible, flexible hours or part-time roles so that you can achieve. And the people that, again, if you're self-employed or you own your own business, they, again, is tied into this work-life balance. These two cards are not coming back to back together in error. They work in sync. That work-life balance and the flexibility that a work-life balance gives you completes you. And most people now in this day and age, this is what, it's not even about the money anymore. I mean, of course you want to be paid and compensated, but the more important thing on people's, wish list, when it comes to or their bucket list when it comes to their career is, how's that work-life balance? Am I going to be stuck going to an office 5 days a week, or do I have the flexibility to work 2 or 3 days a week? You know what I mean? Am I going to get parent time off? Am I going to be allowed to take sick days, and how much? And, all the things that we take for granted, as some firms tighten up on them, you want to gravitate to firms that understand your mental health and your security, your overall life energy really values you having that work-life balance. So for many of you, gravitating towards companies that offer that, or you creating that for your own life and the others that you employ, are going to be a major factor in the near to far future. At the bottom of the deck, we get personal branding. Some of you need to pay attention as you branch out on your own. Start negotiating, start researching, start sitting and networking with people, looking at different artistry and works. Look at different people's, websites, their YouTube pages, their social media, their thumbnails. Get involved with all the aspects of how you want to brand your business and what your branding is going to look like and sound like. So build your personal brand and define your unique value proposition. And that's the thing about it. It has to be unique to your business so that your business can stand out. Showcase your skills as much as you can online and network strategically with intention to enhance your professional image. So branding, working on branding. If you don't know what branding is, look it up. Take some courses, go to some seminars. Again, network with people within your field. If even you can't find people within your field immediately, just network in general with people who have their own shows, their own businesses, their big, lucrative YouTube channels, or, whatever other social media channels in which they generate income. How did they start out? There's a lot of great YouTubers that offer this type of information on the channel. They might not be in the spiritual realm, they might be in the graphic artist end, or the financial end, but they do offer this information. And branding is very important if you really want to go out there and excel on the big level. Again, if you're starting new, you take baby steps, but you should still start seeking that information and taking notes and coming up with ideas, especially if you can create your own brand yourself. If you're really good with graphic arts and stuff, you know, you could probably come up with something and be very good at it, so it costs you a fraction than you having to go out there and pay someone to do your branding. And branding, again, it expands far beyond most of the things that we think of. So really take some time to look into that. As we're coming to a close, we get in the middle of the deck, budget planning. Are you being realistic, Sagittarius, with your budget and your finances, especially if your job took a hit financially or your company took a hit? Just because you set a budget for the year doesn't mean you don't tweak it when there are life occurrences, right? So if there's been a upflow, a uptick in your career and finances, you readjust your budget. But on the same, scale, if your finances have taken a cut or your job has changed, you've got laid off or you've gotten less hours, you need to readjust your budget from when you started it in the beginning of the year. This is why I think it's really good to look at your budget every quarter, okay, or every 2 months, or how often as you need to, as life changes and life changes occur, and they will occur throughout your life, and sometimes most unexpectedly. So list your income and expenses, see where you're allocating funds, where you can kind of tweak some of that, save more, spend less, check into your investments. Do you need to switch some things around or cash some things out or change where you invest with? Review your budget regularly. So important. You just can't wait until the end of the year when it's tax time and then you're shocked by the numbers. Some money that you've wasted somewhere else when you could have put that money somewhere else and made money. So this is why you need to be on top of your budget on a regular basis, because the flow of money and the movement of it is going to make the difference on how your portfolio is going to look at the end of the year. So try to stay on a budget on a regular basis, changing it and tweaking it and adapting it as you need to or when you need to accordingly. Well, I love this reading update for you for the month of May as we close out the month of May. Very anxious to see what June brings for us. Hopefully some more financial blessings, some doors, further doors of opening for opportunity. Would love to hear, and you share in the comments below if you're starting a new job, or if you've been blessed with a new opportunity, a new career, or you're getting or you have received some unexpected money. And please remember, when you win money, when games a chance, or you've gifted money that you didn't think you were ever going to receive, pay it forward. Give a little something to somebody or help someone else too along the way. Those blessings kind of make it all come, full circle, and it's good karma, right? It's good karma, is good fortune. So the best of you for the rest of the month of May and into the month of June. And just take time, Sagittarius, take that hermit time that you need to look into your career and finances and stay on top of it on a regular basis. Namaste.